स्थापकायश्च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डुक्रुन् कर्णे नहि नहि रक्षति डुक्रुन् कर्णे भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डुक्रुन् कर्णे भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते। Wonderful. Hello, 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 everybody. Great. Good to see everyone. Namaste, Pavanji, Raghunandan, Limaji, Sharad, Purushottamji, and others. Everyone, hello. So, and one of the companies that I consult I used to consult more on the technology side with them, but now I consult more with them on this cultural transformation, on the corporate side, from the non-duality, oneness, okayness, creativity, surrenderfulness, giving. How does all that apply in the corporate world? So now my consulting with them is more along that lines in terms of cultural change, bringing about a cultural change, all the way from the CEO all the way to the front end workers and all that. Because ultimately productivity is a what the purpose of a company's existence has to be in line with the purpose of our existence. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. And what is the purpose of our existence? The purpose of our existence is to celebrate, to be happy, to be joyous, uh, to experience happiness. So, the purpose of any company, the purpose of any enterprise, the purpose of any business should be, can be, to create more and more happiness in whatever form. So Purushottamji is a doctor, so he is offering service to the, he's a pediatrician, so the children feeling happier as a result of their pain or their trouble or their fever or sore throat or whatever it is, to be relieved and from pain. So that is the real purpose. The real purpose is to bring happiness, to bring joy. And in whatever company you are working, so everyone who is working, maybe Sharad is in some company and all that, look at the, what is the true purpose of the company? What is the, and if you have not understood that, then realign your thought. So you think that the reason for the company's existence is to make money. You may think that way, and we may hold it also that way, that I go to my clinic so that I can make money. I mean, that is one level. But the real purpose is to bring joy, to bring happiness. That's the real purpose. Now, when you're bringing joy and bringing happiness, naturally people offer you money. People want to take care of you. So, money and the profits and all of that becomes a byproduct. Not that we don't want money. We are not creating companies just to do seva. But that is not the purpose of it. The money is a byproduct. The money is a, this is the exact opposite of what most people think, that their product and services वो जो भी है, main बात क्या है, पैसा बनाना है. And this is completely reverse of what it is. And when the byproduct is money and you are offering services out of joy, out of happiness, then naturally your products also are better, your services are better, your quality is better, your creativity is better, your designs are better. Whatever you do is much better because you are happy. And that was why you are going to work. That was the reason you are going there. And it's, you have seen in, even in life, whatever you do, if you do it in a state of joy, in a state of happiness, then the same thing, just simple thing like making a cup of tea. If you're not in a good mood and you are, ye kya chai banane ka, kya lafra hai? If you make tea that way, chances are the tea is not going to come out very, very well. But if you're joyous, if you're happy doing it and you're doing it out of joy, let me bring this joy of enjoying a cup of tea to myself or to somebody, then that same cup of tea will taste, the chances of the quality being high are much better. So even though we strive for quality, even, and if your quality is better and you have happy people working in their organization, then naturally the cost is less, the profits are more. So all that becomes a byproduct rather than focusing on sales, focusing on the top line and bottom line. Focusing on the main line. Focus on the main line, not the bottom line. And when you focus on the main line, which is bringing joy, no matter what business you are in, see how it is bringing joy to people and to yourself and your employees and your vendors and your customers and to the world. When that becomes the focus, then everything else, that main line is that, then top and bottom line both will take care of themselves. And not that you don't have to do anything uh, to not that you don't have to do anything for the top line and bottom line. Yes, you do sales, but you're doing it all as a natural outpouring of the joy you're bringing to yourself and to the world, not for the purpose of the top line. So anyway, so in the company is part of the cultural transformation. So I was brought into an incident that happened there, where somebody was found to have been uh, siphoning off some of the goods for their, presumably for their own benefit. Somehow they were taking material out of the factory and selling it to somebody and all that kind of stuff. So so they so I met this person yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. Yeah, I met them yesterday and I was talking to him, and young guy, very bright, promising career, had been with the company for many years, and now it's completely ruined because of this, what was found out. So being ethical, being honest, being truthful, living in truth, things that we, most of us, take for granted, कि of course truth में ही रहना है, सच्चाई में ही रहना है. We don't do anything which is unethical or immoral or stealing something or cheating somebody. That is almost like a given. मतलब ये तो सवाल ही नहीं है. But yet people do this kind of stuff. People somehow, for whatever their reasons and whatever their thought process, they cheat and they do things which are incorrect. So one question came to my mind is, how come people do this? This is of course a very intelligent person and a good post, making over ₹1 lakh a month, um, in salary, and not that old, quite young, and making ₹1 lakh a month, so perfect salary, and still he would, uh, to go to the level of stealing from the company. So the question that came to me was, why would somebody do that? That why why would somebody who is making enough money and all that still think about stealing from the company? It's like, hitting the hand that feeds you. So so that was my question. I mean, the normal thing was, of course, without any question, without any kind of, we don't need to know anything more. We know that the person has stolen. The automatic reaction from the
Mama voice not alto.
voice, you're not able to hear. Okay, I don't know. Um can you hear me now? Hello, hello, hello. Okay. So of course the automatic thing is कि ऐसे आप चोरी कर रहे हो और पता चल गया लोगों को, आपके बॉस को, कंपनी को, तो 1 2 3 यू आर आउट ऑफ द कंपनी एंड दैट्स द एंड ऑफ इट. देयर इज नो मोर कॉन्वर्सेशन, देयर इज नथिंग. ऑन द स्पॉट यू आर आउट एंड फिनिश्ड. एंड इट कैन अफेक्ट योर एंटायर करियर, बिकॉज नेक्स्ट टाइम पीपल विल आस्क यू कि इतने 7 साल यहाँ काम कर रहे थे, सडनली आपने छोड़ कैसे दिया? और फिलहाल काम नहीं कर रहे हो, मतलब नोटिस पीरियड में भी नहीं, आपने ढूंढा भी नहीं, आपको कोई मौका ही नहीं मिला कि आप दूसरी जगह ढूंढे और निकले वहां से, अभी अभी आप निकले. So it can affect your entire career. If they call, somebody in the company might say that, hey, yeah, we know something happened, we don't know exactly what, but something happened which was not right. Anyway, so the cost of that kind of thing is very high from that point of view. But the cost of that kind of behavior from a personal level is even higher than that, because you are going to know, you may. And so this person, I was trying to get him to to admit that, listen, we know you've done this and now we know you're going to resign, so why don't you clear yourself कि हाँ मैंने, होता है, टेम्पटेशन हो जाता है, ग्रीड, जो भी है, इंसान है, होता है, और मैंने हाँ किया, तो उसके लिए प्रायश्चित हो, उसके लिए पश्चाताप हो, and then you are clear and you can move on and you can get back your sleep at night. So I was pleading with him actually. He just admitted that you did it, it's okay. So you can move on. या ये कंपनी में तो तुम्हारा करियर खत्म हो गया है, वो तो हो ही गया, लेकिन लाइफ को मत बर्बाद करो. डोंट होल्ड ऑन टू दिस एंड लिव विद दिस फॉर हु नोज हाउ लॉन्ग. फिनिश इट ऑफ. But it was not possible for him to just say that. He kept insisting कि नहीं नहीं सर, मैंने तो कुछ गलत नहीं किया, मैंने पैसे के लिए नहीं किया, मैंने ये नहीं किया. And clearly the evidence and the boss and all the people who have nothing to gain or lose by him were all saying कि yes, there's no doubt that this has been a case of cheating. So cost of career वो सब तो है ही है, but the cost of to your own life, to your own well being, to your own relationships, to your family, everything is so high that it's not worth it.
लाओ बंद कर दो.
वो थोड़ा सा आप जो एक्स्ट्रा पैसा कमाओगे, उससे क्या उखाड़ लोगे दुनिया में? क्या उखाड़ लोगे? एक या क्या एक नई मोटरसाइकिल खरीदोगे क्या? सो व्हाट? या एक थोड़ा सा 2 बेडरूम है तो 3 बेडरूम हो जाएंगे, या एक है तो 2 हो जाएगा, या कुछ गहने पहन के घूमेगी आपकी बीवी. क्या? व्हाट डज इट मीन? What use is it? That extra, that extra unearned, undeserved wealth. बाहर की चमक धमक और अंदर में अंधेरा ही अंधेरा. जब भी वो चमक धमक देखोगे, अंदर वाला अंधेरा वो चमक को खा जाएगा, क्योंकि वो अंदर वाला जो अंधेरा है वो आपको पता है कि ये बाहर वाली जो चमक है मेरे अंधेरे से आई है. तो so what do we first of all, from our understanding of oneness, of non-duality, it makes no sense to cheat. No sense. Would you ever cheat from yourself? First of all, would you ever cheat yourself? हाँ, मैंने ये जेब में से पैसा चोरी से निकाल के दूसरी जेब में डाल दिया. वाह वाह वाह, क्या तीर मारा है. That is what it is. When we are in oneness, when the whole world is yours, if you cheat somebody else, that person is also you in another form. So when you cheat someone else, it is like taking pocket, close your eyes, take money from one pocket, don't tell anybody, put it in the other pocket, open eyes and feel very happy. Oh, मैंने चीट किया, मेरे पैसे बढ़ गए. अरे पैसे कहाँ बढ़े? आप ही के लेफ्ट पॉकेट से राइट पॉकेट में गए. कौन सा क्या क्या फायदा हो गया? But we don't understand this. Second thing we don't understand is क्यों करते हैं कुछ, कोई भी ऐसा क्यों करता है? सभी को पता है कॉस्ट है, रिस्क है, और सेहत के लिए, मेंटली, कैरियर के लिए गलत बात है. ये सब जानते हुए भी कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा कर बैठते हैं. क्यों? क्यों क्यों ऐसा करते हैं? व्हाट डू यू थिंक? या
अपने आप को अलग समझते हैं सबसे.
अपने आप को अलग समझते हैं. एग्जैक्टली, अपने आप को अलग समझते हैं. और लेकिन कारण कारण क्या है ऐसी चोरी करने का? क्या चाहते क्या है?
जब अपने आप को अलग समझते तो अपने आप को बड़ा बताने के लिए, या कुछ मैं ज्यादा हूँ बाकी लोगों से, ज्यादा मैंने गेन किया है, या मेरे पास ज्यादा है, या मैं ज्यादा रीच हूँ, वो ज्यादा बेटर, ये बताने का ये रहता है.
राइट. हाँ पांडे जी.
मैंने तो बहुत देखा है साहब, सरकारी सेवा में रहते हुए.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
और भरा पड़ा है ऐसे लोगों से संसार, भरा पड़ा है
बिल्कुल
चारों तरफ.
चारों तरफ. बिल्कुल.
बार ऐसा होता था कि मैं जो ईमानदार हूं, मैं अलग थलग पड़ जाता था.
करेक्ट करेक्ट.
मतलब यू कैन नॉट सर्वाइव. अभी मेरी बिटिया है,
वो सब
मेरी
चिढ़ाएंगे आपको, कौन से हरिश्चंद्र की औलाद हो।
हाँ,
हाँ।
मेरी बिटिया अभी आई जस्ट रिटायर्ड ऑन 31 अगस्त। अभी मेरी बिटिया ऑफिसर है स्टेट गवर्नमेंट में।
हाँ
वो बेचारी, मतलब अभी कल ही उसने मैसेज किया मेरे को कि पापा आई डोंट वांट टू कंटिन्यू इन दिस जॉब, आई डोंट वांट, मैं अपना कुछ भी दुकान खोल लूंगी, मुझे नहीं बनना अफसर।
करेक्ट करेक्ट।
मतलब इतने जी, मतलब इनको क्या बोले, कोई शब्द नहीं है इनके बारे में बोलने के लिए।
एग्जैक्टली एग्जैक्टली राइट, बट
तो
व्हाट
वो
इज द
क्यों होता
मोटिवेशन?
है पता नहीं, क्यों होता है, मुझे तो ऐसा लग रहा है कि वो
हाँ
पैदाइश ही लोग जो हैं, जो एक राक्षस वृत्ति के लोग होते हैं ना, जो
हाँ।
निशाचर कहा जाता है जिनको, हमारे यहाँ पौराणिक में शब्द है उनके लिए निशाचर,
हम्म
निशाचर होते हैं जो जो
हम्म।
रात्रिगामी होते हैं। रात्रि का मतलब यहाँ तात्पर्य है अंधेला।
करेक्ट करेक्ट
जिनको अंधेला पसंद है, दुनिया भर में अंधेला रहे और वो अपना राज चलाते रहे।
करेक्ट करेक्ट। नहीं, ये आप जो कह रहे हैं वो सच है,
हम्म।
लेकिन एक एक स्तर पर सच है कि हाँ ये राक्षस वृत्ति है, लेकिन हम हमारा जो अनुभव है, हम अपने आप में झांक कर जब देखते हैं और हमें पता है कि अल्टीमेटली सभी का स्वरूप वही है, कॉन्शियसनेस, अवेयरनेस। सभी कुछ, सारी जो दुनिया है वहीं से उभर आती है, सबका स्रोत वही है। फिर चाहे इस दिशा में गया या उस दिशा में गया, शुरुआत एक ही है। तो वहां पे भी जो है उनका भी जो एक स्तर पर राक्षस वृत्ति या राक्षस रूप जो दिखाई पड़ता है, उनका भी असली स्वरूप तो वही है, असली स्वरूप है।
मुश्किल वहां है ना भाई जी, संजीव जी, मुझे मुश्किल वैसे नहीं है।
हाँ
मुश्किल तब आती है जब वो मुझे रास्ते का रोड़ा समझता है और
हाँ
मुझे हटाना चाहता है रास्ते से, कि ये है, ये मेरे रास्ते में रोड़ा बना हुआ है, ये ईमानदार है ना, ये कल को मेरे लिए घातक हो सकता है, ही इज डेंजरस फॉर मी।
करेक्ट
क्योंकि
करेक्ट
वो ईमानदार है, वो जानता है, उसने पकड़ लिया कि तुम करप्शन कर रहे हो। तो
करेक्ट
दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम। जैसे बिटिया या मैं ईमानदार अगर हैं, तो वो चाहते हैं कि इनको हटाओ, किक आउट करो, वो हमें
करेक्ट
जीना नहीं देना चाहते।
करेक्ट।
वो
दैट इज द
मुश्किल
प्रॉब्लम, दैट इज ट्रू, बट अल्टीमेटली अल्टीमेटली उनका भी स्रोत वही है। ये दिशा अलग क्यों हो जाती है? ये दिशा अलग इसीलिए हो जाती है, जो शुरुआत है अवेयरनेस की, और ये सेपरेट हमने जो फॉर्म ले रखे हैं, अलग अलग रूप रंग नाम अलग ले रखे हैं, सभी की दिशा, सभी का मकसद, ये जो अलगपन है, सेपरेशन जो है हमारा दैवत्व से, वो जो सेपरेशन है, उसी का जो पेन है, उसी का जो दर्द है, उसी की राहत चाहते हैं सभी। सभी वही चाहते हैं। मैं आप जो भी है दुनिया में, जो अलग रूप लेके बैठे हैं, वी आर ऑल लुकिंग फॉर होम, वी आर लुकिंग फॉर आवर ओन होम, to return to our own home, which is the true self, which is the only self, which is the divine self. We are all searching for home. अभी हो क्या जाता है कि अगर आप मिसगाइड हो गए किसी से कि होम उस दिशा में है, तो आप उस दिशा में चलने लगोगे, क्योंकि एवरीवन इज डेस्परेट लुकिंग फॉर होम। कोई मिला नहीं उनको कहने वाला कि योर होम इज विद इन यू, your joy that you're looking for is not somewhere else, it is within you, and it is yours already, it is yours, you're already home. Now live from this home that you are in. ये कहने वाला कोई नहीं मिला। वो तो छोड़ो, ये कहने वाले बहुत सारे मिल जाते हैं कि तुम्हारा जो तुम चाहते हो, ये खुशी जो चाहते हो, आनंद जो चाहते हो, उसके लिए ये चीजें जरूरी है। आपके पास धन होना चाहिए बहुत सारा, और फिर चाहे कहीं से भी ले लो तुम, वो धन मिल जाएगा, आप खुश हो जाओगे। ये गलत दिशा में, ये बिल्कुल बिल्कुल वाहियात बात ये माहौल में चल रही है लोगों के दिमाग में, कि ज्यादा धन मिलेगा तो मैं खुश हो जाऊंगा। और असलियत में हम देखते हैं कि ये सत्य नहीं है। देर आर मिलियंस ऑफ रिच पीपल हु आर मिजरेबल, एंड इवन द रिच पीपल विल टेल यू वी आर स्टिल एज मिजरेबल एज वी वर। सो ये सिर्फ एक मार्गदर्शन में जो एक अ, गलत दिशा में निकल पड़ते हैं, then they can go any extent. और तो वो दो राक्षस भाव कहो या जो भी करने को तैयार हो जाते हैं, क्योंकि सभी को खुशी इतनी चाहिए, आनंद उतना चाहिए, दैवत्व उतना चाहिए, घर जाना, घर वापसी उतनी प्यारी है कि उसके लिए कोई भी कीमत देने को तैयार हो जाते हैं। और वो कीमत चाहे फिर ईमान क्यों ना हो। तो कारण तो वही है कि दे वांट टू बी हैप्पी, दैट्स ऑल। But they think that that is what will make them happy, and that is where the mistake is. So in that sense there is no difference between जो ईमानदार है और ईमानदार नहीं है। दोनों खुशी चाहते हैं, दोनों आनंद का अनुभव करना चाहते हैं, दोनों देवत्व की तरफ जाना चाहते हैं, लेकिन एक बिल्कुल विपरीत दिशा में निकल पड़े हैं। और जिनको ये समझ और ये ज्ञान और ये जो दिशा है वो ठीक से मिल गई है, उनको ये रास्ते पे चलने की कोई जरूरत ही नहीं है, जरूरत महसूस नहीं होती। तो so it is, and then you realize that what cheating, when you understand oneness, कि सबका, मेरा भी स्रोत, सभी का स्रोत वही है। तो ये कंपनी भी मेरी है, चाहे मैं ये रेलवे मेरी है। तो ये रेलवे अगर मेरी है तो मेरे ही जेब से मैं पैसे निकाल के मेरे दूसरे जेब में क्यों डालूं जो मुझे नहीं दिए गए हैं। So this understand, it is foolishness. It is like you will never do it. Would you ever cheat yourself? खुद से चोरी करते हो क्या कभी? मैंने मेरे बैंक से पैसे चुरा लिए मेरे अकाउंट में से, वाह क्या! That is what it is. It is that
बैंक बिक रहा है, बैंक बिक गया साहब।
हाँ।
बैंक जो है बिक गया, प्राइवेटाइजेशन हो रहा है, आउटसोर्सिंग हो रहा है। लड़ते हैं कि साहब आउटसोर्सिंग मत करो, बैंक को आप मत करो, बेचो मत, लेकिन ईमानदारी से नहीं करेंगे काम। बैंक जब बैंकरप्ट हो जाएगा तो बिकेगा नहीं, और क्या होगा? तो वो खुद पे कुल्हाड़ी मारना, जो आपने कहा ना कि एक जेब से दूसरी जेब में डाल रहे हो, उसके बाद नौकरी चली जाती है
खुद की जेब से, वही। So exactly. So that foolishness, at least if you have understood anything on this platform and through meditation and through your own experience, do not ever get into that trap of doing something which is not ethical and not, जो जायज नहीं है उसकी दिशा में जाने की जरूरत ही नहीं है। और in my life तो I was very lucky कि my father, who was such a amazing person, an example of this, that we have brought
Truthfulness.
up in that माहौल। उसी माहौल में हम जिए हैं, पैदा हुए हैं और बड़े हुए हैं, जहां हमें हमारे पिताजी की जो कहानियां सुनने आती थी, then doing anything out of the line was like completely unthinkable. So so my father, he was was only like 17 or 18 years old when he came to Mumbai from his village in Gujarat. And when he came to Mumbai, it was in 1942-43 time frame, जब ही क्विट इंडिया मूवमेंट पूरी बिल्कुल एकदम पीक पे थी। सो ही वॉज वेरी स्मार्ट, वेरी गुड विद नंबर्स, एंड ही हैड जॉइन खालसा कॉलेज यहाँ पर इन साइंस डिविजन एज अ 17-year-old young man, and had also got enough marks to, he got a seat at the one of the top engineering colleges in Mumbai, VJTI करके जो कॉलेज है मुंबई में, उसमें उनको सीट मिली थी। And the freedom struggle started, and he said, I have to take part in this. I cannot sit by the side and do my own studies and all that while all this fire is burning in my own house. So he used to go on all these demonstrations and with the Indian flag and all this stuff. And right here, not far from where we were brought up, in King Circle itself, and he in one of the demonstrations there was a police firing, and he got a bullet wound. The bullet grazed his elbow. एल्बो को ग्रेज करते हुए पीछे एक छोटा लड़का था, कुछ 10-12 साल का लड़का था, उसको सीधे that boy died on the spot, but the bullet just grazed his elbow. So somehow he was able to, manage. And then again, after 3-4 days, he's again in those demonstrations with the flag and all that, got another bullet wound in his leg this time. And got arrested also on top of that. Got arrested, went to jail for several months. And along with Sarojini Naidu and a few others, he was in the Pune jail. And but even in the jail, what he found was कि जो खाना मिलता था वहाँ जेल में, very very full of those stones and sand and insects and whatnot. Horrible conditions in the jail. So he immediately organized some of the other boys who were there with him and took over cleaning up all these food grains. And he and his team, they ensured that everybody in the jail was getting good clean food. They were spending all that energy and time in the jail making sure serving everyone. So and in his life he has not given or taken a bribe. Never, just nahi. Several years later, 20-30 years later, after all this independence is over, I think in the 70s or in the 70s, when the recognition of freedom fighters, that whole movement was going on, ki jo bhi freedom fighter hai unko privileges like free first class travel anywhere in the country for you and your wife, and so many other privileges were there, and a pension, monthly pension, ye wo. And the mayor himself, because he was one of the top prominent people who had sacrificed a lot. By the way, he never joined that engineering college because by the time he came out of jail, all the admission, everything was finished. The time went and he never became an engineer because of this time in the jail. But yet he was brilliant enough that he started a factory along with my uncle and all that. Pratibha Ben, who's here, is my uncle's daughter. But they started a factory and all that, and they managed to do well. But that period of that was over. So he sacrificed his entire career basically in the interest. So when the freedom
from Sanjiv, from 60, they have started their own business.
From 60. So when the freedom fighters recognition and all that time came, he refused it. He refused the pension, he refused the privileges, he refused the free travel, the concessions, nothing doing. He said, I have not done it for that. I have done to give, I have not done it to take, and therefore I will not take. And let that money or whatever it is go to somebody who needs it more than me. And those concessions, let them go somewhere. So he refused it. कैसे भी करके सिर्फ एक सर्टिफिकेट तक तो, because my mom was like, अरे why you are letting all this go, but he didn't want it. कम से कम जबरदस्ती एक सर्टिफिकेट ले रखा है जो if he is a freedom fighter, ये सर्टिफिकेट, which he didn't want that also, but they gave that and he took it. When my elder sister was had appeared for the her inter-science exam and to get the admission in the medical college. So she was short by 1 or 2% to get admission in the medical school, maybe 3% in Mumbai. She was going to get in a regular medical school, but on her own merit, she was getting only in homeopathy, not in the regular school. They were told, that because your father was a freedom fighter and all you have to do is show his freedom fighter certificate, and on that basis you can get admission in this medical school right away. My father refused to show that certificate. He said, if there is somebody in the line who has earned 3 or 4% more than you, how can we deprive that boy or girl of a seat? And he would not show it. And my sister was begging him, please just show the certificate. That's all you have to do. And he said, no, that's not how we operate in the world. This is not right. And she became a homeopath instead of an MBBS. And she retired as a homeopath just 2 years ago. So this natural what is the sense of what is right for everyone. I mean, which parent today thinks of some other child, somebody else's child, the admission of somebody else's child who you don't even know them, you don't even know their name? And yet he said, we cannot deprive that other child of this seat. That is why we will not do it. So we grew up in that एक जो माहौल कहते हैं, where naturally what is right and wrong is just known. तो किसी को चीट करने का तो कोई सवाल ही नहीं है. मतलब it's not even in your realm of possibility. And all through the life, even after that, every single event, like the Indo-Pak War, the 1965 China War, donations and going from house to house to make sure the lights are covered and blackout is maintained properly, and learning first aid and becoming a volunteer during the war, all that he did. And without much of a philosophy. Okay, उनको अगर आप पूछेंगे about ethics or about honesty, he man of few words. कुछ there's nothing. There's no like a deep philosophy or ऐसा होना चाहिए. Nothing. Just naturally like this. In our street where we moved here, we had no trees on this entire street. Not a single tree. And very hot it used to get in the summer months. So all the way from the main road to our house, which is about half a kilometer, not one tree. So he went to the municipal office and all that and did a lot of letters and this and that, and finally they came and dug holes, and on all along both sides of the street they planted the plants on both sides. And
watered them.
Sorry?
Water them. The tree.
Yeah, I know. So yeah,
પાણી
Pratibha
નાખવા જતા હતા કાકા.
exactly. So Pratibha has seen firsthand some of these stories that I'm telling you, I'm sharing with you. So when the municipal people
watering the tree.
I know, I'm telling the story. So municipality तो आके चली गई वो पौधे को लगा के, and then within a few weeks no water and they're just dying. So my father said, we cannot let this happen. I was very, maybe I was 10, 12 years old, 13 years old maybe. And he said, we have to water these plants now. Because we have got them here, now we have to water them. अभी आधा किलोमीटर लंबी पाइप कहाँ से लाएंगे पानी डालने के लिए? So then everyone said, oh, that's impossible. How are you going to water them? Half a kilometer long road on both sides of the road. How are we going to water it? It's not possible. He said, नहीं, बाल्टी में भर के डालेंगे. So I used to have this photograph of him with 2 buckets in his hand, 2 buckets of water, walking with 2 buckets all the way to the end of the road. खत्म करो, वापस आओ, 2 और भरो, next plant, वापस आओ, next plant. And not once, the entire summer, full summer, once or twice a week, he's doing this. And not one summer, many summers, till those plants became more or less grown enough to be self-sufficient. And now this tree, if you ever come to my house, you will see it is lined with his 40 years old trees, beautiful shade on the entire road. दोनों तरफ से जो पेड़ आते हैं पूरा कवर कर देते हैं. There's not a spot where the sun comes in. Full shade and cool. And it's only because of him taking a stand, ki nothing doing. We cannot let this happen. And and unlike me, who thinks and says and shares and expresses, he was not at all, none of these words. ऐसा कुछ सोच दिमाग में deep कुछ नहीं. But the life was a very deep life. Without the words. I remember some very funny stories, when I was maybe 21 or 22, I was not yet married, and I was not sure. I was, enjoying my life as a bachelor and having a good time and all, and marriage की बात हो रही थी. Maybe I was 24. तो मैंने कहा, Dad, is marriage a luxury or a necessity? So I wanted some philosophical answers. I was only 24 years old. Dad, ये marriage जो है, is it a necessity or a luxury? You tell me that. Then I will see whether I should get married or not. So you know what he told me? He said, was your being born a necessity or a luxury? Was your birth a necessity or a luxury? That's it. That's all he told me. अभी जो करना है तू कर. So like this, so many stories from his life, which are just amazing, just amazing. So we have a very
आपके पिताजी ने जो किया,
हाँ
वो उसमें वो एक शेर है ना,
बिल्कुल.
कि कौन कहता है कि आसमां में सुराग हो नहीं सकता.
क्या बात है. हाँ
कौन कहता है कि आसमां में सुराग हो नहीं सकता.
हाँ
एक पत्थर तो तबीयत से उछालो यारो.
हाँ.
तो वो उनकी फिलॉसफी वो थी ना, कि आगे बढ़ के करना.
एक पत्ता तो उछाल के देखो कहाँ जाके गिरता है. हाँ, क्या बात है. बढ़िया. दैट इज इट. ही नेवर कंसिडर्ड कि इससे क्या फर्क पड़ेगा. बट राइट हियर, ये जो मेरे सामने ये पौधे मरने नहीं चाहिए. फिनिश्ड. अभी सारी दुनिया का ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट और ये है, पोल्यूशन है नहीं है, इज नॉट हिज कंसर्न. बट मेरे सामने, लाइक, थिंक, ही ऑलवेज यूज्ड टू से दैट, think globally, act locally. Think globally, act locally. So like this, every and at any time. एक किस्सा मैं सुनाता हूँ कि there was outside our house two कुछ दारू वारू पी के दोनों झगड़ रहे थे, fighting, and the whole public had gathered and just watching the तमाशा. ये लड़ रहे हैं दो, एक के पास चाकू भी है और ये कुछ ना कुछ हो रहा है और पूरे तमाशा देख रहे हैं, पूरा सर्कल होके. And he just returned from the office. He was walking. He came and saw this and he said, what is this nonsense? And he just went to them in the middle of, अरे लोग बोल रहे हैं जाओ मत, चाकू है, ये है वो है. He just went there. एक को धक्का इधर मारा, दूसरे को धक्का इधर मारा. एक बस आ रही थी, डबल डेकर बस थी, उसमें एक को उसमें चढ़ा दिया उन्होंने, और वो गया बस में, और ये दूसरा जो था वो वहीं का वहीं रह गया, सोचते हुए कि ये कहाँ गया मैं जिससे लड़ रहा था. And that was the end. In a matter of 2 minutes, this whole thing had been boiling and brewing for 2 hours, and people were just there. And in 2 minutes, he came and just dispersed the whole thing. But this is not acceptable. Finished. So never total bravery and total courage and total conviction of his belief, कि जो सच है वो सच है, without maybe never had meditated, never went to the temple. At the same time, he never stopped my mother from going to the temple. He would even take her there, drive her there, all that. But he himself, okay, I mean, if कोई खास बात है and if mother insists कि you come in, he will go in also. ऐसी भी बात नहीं थी कि नहीं जा सकते. लेकिन it was all natural for him. Natural humanity जो कहते हैं, natural compassion, natural oneness, natural non-duality, natural understanding of of what is the way to truth, what is the way to beauty, what is the way to love. Um, yeah, animals, same thing. I mean, there were so many animals in our neighborhood. He would feed them by hand, and again, a very open attitude. कि एक बिल्ली थी, उसको डॉक्टर ने कहा कि उसको ये बीमार है और वीक है, उसको फिश खिलानी होगी, तभी ये सर्वाइव होगी. Now we are Jains, okay? So Jains में नॉन वेजिटेरियन और वो is completely out of the question. Eggs तक नहीं खाते घर में, या बाहर भी, of course, not just घर में, but anywhere. We don't eat eggs, we don't eat meat and all that. Nor fish, nor has he ever eaten fish or meat. बट ये डॉक्टर ने कह दिया बस ये बिल्ली को मच्छी खिलानी है, तो ही जस्ट टोल्ड वन ऑफ द वॉचमैन, ही सेड कल से आप हर रोज लेके आना और हम खिलाएंगे इसको. और हाथों से खिलाया इसको, बिल्ली को, क्यों बीमार इतनी थी कि वो खुद खा भी नहीं सकती थी. हाथों में लेकर वो खिलाया उन्होंने ये बिल्ली को, कितने दिनों तक, जब तक ठीक हो गई. So it was a way of living, way of understanding this whole non-duality and all that, without understanding, without necessarily knowing any of the philosophies and all that. It was not important. So I just want to share one picture of him just like that. Where did it go?
He was flexible.
Totally flexible. Totally.
Flexible.
अभी शायद दिखाया था, कहाँ गया? I cannot find that picture. My sister just sent it to me. I don't know where it went. I don't believe it.
In your room also, no?
Sorry? Yeah?
Picture.
No, your voice is breaking. Just type in the thing.
There is a picture of his in your room also. Above the door.
Yeah.
Camera and show us.
Yeah, maybe. हाँ चलो वो देखते हैं, वो अगर होता है क्या. It may be difficult. No, it's not possible right now. I'll post some pictures of him on the. I will post after our session some photographs of him. Sundar Bhai Shah, Sundar Lal. He was known as Sundar Lal Shah. So we grew up with that, but of course, after all this understanding, it becomes clear also what is the basis of it, what is behind it, and so maybe I can show. Let me see. Difficult to see. Anyway, okay. Anyway, I will post on the group afterwards. But ऐसा उदाहरण लेके जो हमें खुद अपनी लाइफ में मिला है, आई एम सो ग्रेटफुल that that has happened, and that has allowed me to have this. But even from all our perspectives of understanding of oneness, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to not be in givingness, to not be in lovingness, to not be in okayness, and to not, of course, to not take what is offered with love. Wonderful. Any comments or questions?
तो हजार शब्द कुछ कह पाए, शब्दों से वो नहीं होता है, संदेश जो है ना,
Correct.
इट कम्स बाय डीड, जो एग्जाम्पलरी पर्सनालिटी जो होती है ना, तो
Absolutely.
मुझे लगता है कि ये आपके पिताजी सीख दे गए कि हमें बजाय शब्दों के द्वारा कुछ कन्वे करने के स्वयं वो हो जाइए, तो अपने आप दुनिया अच्छी होने लगेगी.
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल. Absolutely. Correct, correct. Our kaya, vacha, manasa. तीनों साफ, तीनों साफ. Actions, thoughts, deeds.
Leading by example.
Leading by example. Exactly. Correct. And that is what we have to offer our children and to ourselves and our families, our friends. And 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 chahe, let 99.9% of the people, even if 99.9% don't understand, it doesn't matter. What is truth is truth. फिर चाहे सभी कहे कि ये क्या, ये कोई तरीका है क्या, ये ऐसे ही चलता है, ऐसे ही चलता है. अरे बाबा, नहीं चलता है. क्यों क्यों चलाना है ऐसे? जरूरी क्या है? So that's what we have to understand. Wonderful. So thank you for. So this one is.
Thank you for sharing.
Leading by example.
Yeah, this session dedicated to my father. Thank you, thank you,
So,
thank
leading by example.
you. Leading by.
Title.
Sanjiv,
Yeah. So and it was his. Coincidentally, his
birthday.
birthday is the 26th of January, which just went.
Yeah, that. So
Which,
same day and a same view.
yeah. So I wanted to share actually on that day, but that was Wednesday. I think we didn't meet, and then Thursday we got onto something else. But I from the 26th Jan, his birthday itself, I wanted to share. But आगे भी दो बहुत ही बिल्कुल जैसे रोमांचक एक कहानी बन जाए, एक कथा बन जाए या फिल्म बन जाए, वैसी दो बातें हैं जो मैं कभी और बताऊंगा.
But he was the man with the strong willpower.
Very, very strong willpower. Very
He
loving.
was the man with the, in our all family, all members are strong willpower.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great.